In terms of rejection, so I was married for several years. I think some of you guys know that. And so within that relationship, I feel that my rejection came in, and I was complaining about me being rejected when it came to, dinners being cooked, sex, some of the things of that nature. And a lot of times I was pointing a finger at my wife at the time. I was telling her like, hey, you need to take care of me. You should do this, you should do that. But in a conversation that I had earlier with my friend, I have to look at why she was rejecting me. And I feel that a person really isn't going to just reject you just because. And I feel that something that I was doing that made her not want to perform, not go in that kitchen and want to cook for me. Or when I tap her on the shoulder at night, not wanting to roll over. So I have to look a little deeper. I have to look at myself.
Okay.
And see the reason why.
Right. And so what did you discover?
Well, it's kind of new right now. It's kind of new right now because I'm telling you, every day is a learning experience. Seriously, every day is a learning experience. Mm-hmm. And today, honestly, yesterday, it opened my eyes up like, damn. Because again, throughout the season, even up until yesterday, I was saying like, she's the reason. She was rejecting me. And yeah, I went out there, I cheated because she wasn't doing X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. But again, I really have to look at myself, and I haven't looked at myself until now.
Right.
Now
I do want to, because so it's easy to say that now because of everything that has happened. It's easy to say, well, I should have looked at myself.
You have to go through some shit.
But I don't want you to gloss over the issue from the very beginning. Because I've watched your show, and we've talked a little bit about this. Yeah. I've watched your show, and my viewpoint is different than most. Because what I saw was a man who was not being heard. Yeah. Right? I mean, I saw it because she's not a damsel in distress, right? She has a very dominant personality, so she's not a victim. Yeah. So I saw you voice your concern, and I saw someone sometimes talk over you, and I saw you just look, and I'm just assuming in your mind, you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So it's easy to say, well, I gotta look, you do have to look at you, but I don't wanna gloss over how you got to the place where you say, you know what, I'm gonna cheat. Yeah. Because something happened, not just, it's the both of you, it's not one person. 100%. It's the both of you. So I just want the focal point to be that, because it's so easy, especially bitter women. Y'all like, he ain't take accountability and all that. No, y'all, you gotta look at.
That's what most of the women say too.
That's what most of them say. Yeah, it's all on my feed, all on my Instagram feed. So I just want to shine a light on that you have to, they both have valid concerns. Not just Talk to us about your experience with rejection and obsession or retaliation.
Well, I guess some of the things that I mentioned before, earlier or whatnot, everything that I will discuss, it pertains to my marriage because, I was married for quite some time, for 11, 12 years or whatnot. And, any rejection I really went through, it was pertaining to the marriage. And so a lot of the times that I would definitely say my ex-wife rejected me. Well, considering that, I was married for like 12 years, so some of the things I will discuss, it will pertain to, my previous marriage or whatnot. And there was a lot of rejection going on there. And I guess some of the ways we really can't dictate how we're going to retaliate. And one of my retaliations was, again, I spoke about it earlier, was me cheating. And I feel that, though cheating is wrong, but I feel that rejection that I was receiving, it seems as if I had no, ladies don't get mad, but it seemed like I had no other option but to be out almost, because I felt that I had the discussion with her on things that she wasn't doing. It's not like I was a stay-at-home husband. No, I was the breadwinner within my marriage. I was like the dominant parent and things of that nature too. But then, it's like you're not cooking and I can't have sex when I want it. And so that really pushed me out the door. But again, like I said earlier, I can't point the finger all at her. I have to look back at me of the reason that she was rejecting me. And
so I'm going to ask you, not to cut you off, but how long did you contemplate stepping out before you actually did it? Because that's not something that you decide in a moment's time. There were some things that transpired.
Crazy. I'm so sorry, but it's crazy that you say that, because the first time that I met that particular person, it was the night that my ex-wife was supposed to go to me to a barbecue. We got into it that night. She was on a computer in the bed, and she made this statement to me. We got into it. She said, "Go out there and find your girlfriend." She said, I mentioned she was on the show, you know, she admitted to it and all that, but she said, "Go out there and find your girlfriend," as she was up in the bed on her computer. And I'm like, wow. So honestly, that got into my spirit apparently, because that night I met the girl. I told her, I said, "Listen, I want you to be my girlfriend."
That's what you said?
I said, yeah. And I told her that night, I said, "Look, I want a girlfriend." And I told her XYZ. And
did you tell her you were married though?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. I always want my ring.
Don't nobody care if y'all married? Don't nobody care?
They don't.
Yes, I always want my ring. Always want my ring. And I know it wasn't a good thing, but at the time, you know, that for me, there was comfort. You know, there was someone respecting me as a man and things of that nature. Someone really listened to me. Someone that really catered to me.
Right.
And apparently at that moment, that's something I was searching for.
Somebody stroke your ego?
Hell yeah, I needed that shit. I need it.
But talk about that. No, I really want you to talk about that, because we don't acknowledge that. We're laughing, but he needed that.
Yeah. And Delicious just mentioned, she just asked me, did I feel guilty? You know, it's crazy, because in the beginning phase, I felt guilty. And it's like, damn, what am I doing? But I guess as time progressed, I felt less and less guilty. It almost like it became the norm. So I guess for anybody, you know, it's don't get off into that situation, period. Yeah, because it's like 7 years in, I still communicate with that girl, and she is the mother of my son. Just like that. It's crazy. Wow. Yeah.
But see, here's the deal. Because when she said go get a girlfriend, that's a hall pass, right? But it's then when y'all get them kids, now it's complicated, because the kid is a real live human being.
That's just 7 years later, though. The kid came 7 years later.
7 years, 10 years, 10 days. I'm okay with but see, I don't know. Let me shut up. Go ahead.
Listen,
Y'all gotta hear what he's saying.
No, when you're in a marriage, don't even play with that shit. Don't say go out there and get a girl. Don't even play with it. Take care of your significant other no matter what. That's my thing.
Oh, I agree with you, because I feel like part of the reason why...
That was like a common law marriage. You do know that, right? Like, you was emotionally invested in this relationship. So you had no intention on ending it. Like, you just had like two wives.
I mean, honestly, it wasn't my intention on staying that long, you know? I mean, honestly, I didn't want it to be the way it happened. I didn't envision that, you know? It's something that, it's like, it was my escape. Almost for like some happiness or something like that. But for real though, you know, I was in a marriage, you know, my wife didn't complain about too much, really. It almost seemed like I was the one complaining. Like, damn. So, no.
Wow. She never mind.
Go ahead, Ted.
I was thinking the
same thing.
I was gonna, and I'm not trying to be smart. And
no, be smart. Go ahead.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, maybe it was a relief for her, because she didn't have to, because I don't know your story.
It's hard as hell being a wife. I know that.
No, not even just being a wife. I don't know the story. I don't know her side of the story. Yeah. I'm just speaking from, I'm always a woman first. You know what I'm saying? Whether, even if I'm in a situation or I've experienced it or not, I'm still, you know, a woman first. Yeah. So maybe it got to where, I don't know the story. I don't know her side of the story. Yeah. I'm just speaking from, I'm always a woman first. You know what I'm saying? Whether, even if I'm in a situation or I've experienced it or not, I'm still, you know, a woman first. Yeah. So maybe it got to where you didn't fulfill her. So maybe she felt like I don't got to deal with this. Let homegirl, she knew somebody was doing it, but she didn't care at that point. because she wasn't getting what she needed either. So I guess sometimes,
No,
and I'm not trying to be smart because sometimes men always
that's
think
when
like
communication comes in, guys. You
oh,
follow what I'm
but you
saying?
were communicating for 7 years.
No. So, hey, you guys got to go back and watch that goddamn show. So I communicated, and my thing was, I told her what she was not doing for me. And my thing was, she told me on the show, she said, what you should have done, you should have grabbed me and set me down, and you should have told me that if you don't take care of me, I'm going to go out and cheat on you. So she expected me just to be that transparent. But I feel that if I come up to you like, hey, listen, you need to start having sex with me, like we ain't had sex in a week or whatever, you know, or you haven't cooked and, you know, it's me and the kids, I'm having to go out and get something to eat, I shouldn't have to.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, as soon as he
Why
grab her
didn't
and
you
sit her down, he gonna be on Hollywood Unlocked because he done put his hands on her, so.
But then why didn't you? Because we always have the option to leave before it gets to that point.
No, I'm sorry, but listen, so communication, so I feel that she wasn't being fulfilled, I feel that she should have communicated that to me as well. And I feel that that's where we was lacking at right there.
Well, you know what, on the show, because I did watch some of it.
Yeah.
I heard you communicate to your wife on a numerous occasions, but there was something that I saw, like she wasn't listening to you. She just didn't, she told you what you was going to do.
Yeah.
It was, and you just looked, you would just listen, but your wheels was turning.
Yeah.
And I think she took the relationship for granted.
Yeah.
I really believe that. I think she got comfortable, and she just, because he's a excellent father. Like, they have 4 beautiful children, and he was at home with the children while she was chasing her career.
Yeah.
And I would sit here, and I'm like, well, she just, like, with the play situation on season 2.
Yeah.
Because I watched season 2, because that's where it started to, like, boil over. So she said, you said, why are you going to do this play? You're just reliving, you know, what we've already experienced. And she was like, I'm going to do the play, and you're going to support me.
I'm not trying to cut you off. I've never watched it. I'm no disrespect. I never watched that. Well, I don't even watch my own show sometimes. So I never watched the show. But I can say that what you see on TV is only 20% of what happens behind camera.
Absolutely.
So she's not here. I don't know this woman now, but I can speak, and I don't know your situation either, and I'm not trying to make it like I'm down your throat, because I'm not. But as a woman, I have to speak up and say, as a woman on TV, what you see is literally
not even 20%.
But listen, but listen, we have him here, so you can either.
In a lot of situations, 100% of what you see on TV is really what it is.
Yeah,
because it actually carries over onto TV. So some of it.
Well, the focal point on this particular show is their marriage. So you saw a lot of it play out because it was about
that was
marriage.
real.
Well, can I say something? Because this is probably why I'm never gonna be married. And
Say to my brothers, you know, I hear you say that, oh, you know, she didn't want to cook, she didn't want to sleep with me or do anything like that. But as the man of the house, as the husband, did you ever think about reeling it back in, putting her in that headspace to say, you know what, you know, let me just get in her head to see where she at? Because I know me, I'm not sleeping with you and things ain't right. Like, this is precious. So just because you my husband, that doesn't mean me and you gotta roll in the bed together and the headspace ain't there. Like, you gotta reel it back in.
Okay, so yeah, that's one of the things I was talking about. When she wasn't sleeping with me or wasn't cooking or anything like that, I mentioned that I need to look at self. Because it's a reason that she's not wanting to lay with me or cook or something like that. So yeah, I said, at the time, I'm mad as hell. At the time, I'm like, the fuck? I'm finna step out, you know? And that's what happened. But a younger me, I mean, I did that. But now, me reflecting, it was wrong for me to step out. So, I mean, I take that accountability. I did. Yeah.
But how could he, Rebecca, how could he have, what she said, reel it back in? Like, if she's not listening, because I'm still stuck on not listening.
Thank you.
So what could he have done if just coming to her and saying, hey, these are my concerns, he's not being heard, so then what is the next course of action? If she doesn't see a problem, because if only one person sees a problem and the other person doesn't see the problem,
right?
How do you address it?
So, y'all ain't gonna like this, but I believe I can go out here and kick it.
But I want to ask him one more question. So, was this affair going on before the show? It was going on before the show.
Hey, y'all stop that. Y'all stop that. Yeah, it was. It was.
It
So I'm just wondering, like, what now, to Tammy's point about reality TV, I'm just wondering how much of what we observed had to do with the show. Because a lot of the reality TVs are destroying people's marriages. Like a lot of things, you doing it for the camera. Or even, I think, even for her, I mean, you guys are a beautiful couple, you know, you look good on paper, but then I wonder, would she have actually left if it wasn't on the show? Because now you got all these people in your business who are giving their opinions and putting stuff in your head.
Yeah. I think things really heighten once we really get on TV. You know, and a narrative.
So you went into this show knowing you had an affair and it was probably going to play out on TV?
Well, no.
Or you thought you was going to be able to hide it?
Well, it wasn't about hiding. At times, I mean, I did stop. You followed me? So at times, I did stop cheating because, again...
But wasn't the show initially, my assistant is a major fan.
Oh, Lord.
The show wasn't initially all about their marriage. It didn't start out that way. From what I understand, first season, it started out about business and real estate. And then the marriage issue started getting so popular, and that took over.
We got some crazy people in the audience, okay? God damn.
But you know what? Can I say something, though, as far as, like when people say reality TV messes up marriages, I don't believe that. I don't believe that TV messes. Me and Walker sat down, and I'm like, listen, it's me and you always.
Yeah, well, no, well,
You know?
our things was different because, yeah, again, I did cheat and things like that, and it wasn't supposed to be brought onto the show. And so
how you do reality TV and think reality not gonna come into TV?
But I want you to finish.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Her shit didn't come out. Her cheating, it didn't come out till later on.
Okay, so
let's go.
It came
I
out.
want to hear that shit.
We're going to look. When we come back, we're going to finish the conversation about her stuff. More into when you were talking about your wife's stuff didn't play out on TV and how that could have, being on TV could have a potential effect on how things played out in the marriage.
Well, considering that my ex-wife and I, we currently are filming a show, I'm not going to dig deep off into certain things because we begin to be at a better place right now. We do have 4 children, and it's real life. So I'm beginning to like watch what I say, watch the moves that I make and things like that. Because, you know, we trying to put the kids, well, we better put the kids first, you know. And it has been a difficult road, going through a divorce with 4 children and things of that nature. So I'm not going to elaborate on too much.
I want to ask you one more question, and I'm going to transition. How are you incorporating that 5th child?
Well, to me, it's very simple. I've been a great father since I had my first child, and I'm carrying on with my 5th. It's no difference. Yeah. I have him the times that I have my 4 children, and a lot of people look like, how do you do it? I mean, hell, I just do it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Does it have a negative impact on your relationship with your ex-wife?
Well, I don't let her even have a say-so about anything when it comes to my 5th child.
That's good. I want to, and I'm gonna move on, but I want to hone in on that because a lot of times when you're in a relationship and that situation has happened, a lot of times the man allow that woman to dictate their relationship with their child.
Yeah, no. It's almost like she knew that she was pregnant before I did. She kind of put it on social media before anything. So I think she kind of braced herself for what was to come. And she know the kind of the man that I am, the father that I am, and things like that. So she know I wasn't gonna be slacking or not having him when I have the other 4 children. Okay. So it was an amazing transition. You know, my other 4 kids love my 5th child. And again, they don't know any difference at this moment because again, I told them about him earlier on, and then probably a couple weeks later, I introduced them. And it was almost like love at first sight. So everything's been good.
Oh, yeah. And become who you needed her to be. Not possibility, but the actual capability in that season of her life to be who you needed her to be.
I mean, to answer that question, I mean, of course she was capable. She was capable of doing it from the beginning, but I guess just the emotions, the feelings and things of that nature, whatever I was giving or not giving at that time was the actual response, you know? So and I guess the response was, I mean, I'm not doing certain things to satisfy him because of what I was doing or what I was not doing. So one or the other.
I just asked him that question off camera. Did he think that his wife, because he said that your side piece only really gave you like 15, 20% of what you were missing?
Yeah, look at you, a producer up here. Okay, go ahead.
No, that's correct,
no,
right?
no, that's accurate.
Your wife was giving you 80%, but you were willing to risk that for 15 or 20?
I think that was very foolish of me to do such a thing. But at that time, I'm not thinking like, oh, my wife giving me 85% and she's giving me 15 or whatever. I wasn't thinking like that. So, I mean, if I had thought like that, I would have been like, hell no, I don't want that damn 15%. I'm gonna stick in this house and sit my ass down somewhere. But that wasn't the case.